Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most pivotal moments in American history, the American Revolution. We're talking espionage, secret alliances, and guerrilla warfare tactics that would make a modern-day spy blush. So buckle up, history buffs, because today we're unearthing 10 surprising facts about the American Revolution that you probably didn't learn in school. Alright, let's kick things off with a little cloak and dagger action because, believe it or not, the American Revolution was a hotbed of espionage. Enter a shadowy world of secret codes, invisible ink, and double agents, all operating under the noses of their enemies. One of the most famous figures in this shadowy world was the Cunning Culper Spy Ring, a network of spies organized by George Washington himself. These ordinary people, farmers, merchants, even a woman codenamed Agent 355, risked their lives to gather intel on British troop movements, supply lines, and battle plans. Now, while we often picture the American Revolution as a straight-up fight between the colonists and Great Britain, the reality is far more complex. The conflict also drew in various Native American tribes, each facing their own set of challenges and making incredibly difficult choices. Siding with the British offered potential protection against encroaching colonists, but came at the risk of angering colonists who might prove victorious. On the other hand, allying with the colonists might curb British expansion, but could also lead to retaliation from their Native American rivals. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy, for example, fractured over the war, with some tribes siding with the British and others with the Americans. Let's be real for a second. The American Revolution might have had a very different outcome without a little help from our friends across the pond. Initially, France played coy, offering secret aid to the colonists while publicly maintaining neutrality. But after the stunning American victory at the Battle of Saratoga, France decided to go all in, signing a formal alliance in 1778. France poured money, weapons, and, crucially, their formidable navy into the fight, tipping the scales decisively in favor of the Americans. The French alliance wasn't just a game-changer, it was a lifeline for the fledgling nation. Speaking of the Battle of Saratoga, let's rewind a bit to 1777. The American Revolution was in full swing, and things weren't looking so hot for the colonists. The British had captured Philadelphia, morale was low, and the Continental Army was on the ropes. Then came Saratoga, a battle that very nearly didn't happen. Thanks to miscommunication, delays, and some seriously bad luck, British General John Burgoyne's grand plan unraveled faster than a cheap sweater. What followed was a series of engagements culminating in the British surrender at Saratoga, a victory so decisive that it shocked the world and breathed new life into the American cause. Now, while we often hear about the brave men who fought in the American Revolution, the contributions of women during this time were equally vital, though often overlooked. With men away fighting, women took on traditionally male roles, managing farms, businesses, and even taking up arms to defend their homes. Women like Abigail Adams and Mercy Otis Warren used their voices to advocate for independence, writing influential letters, essays, and even plays that fueled the revolutionary spirit. These women were the unsung heroes of the revolution, proving that the fight for freedom extended far beyond the battlefield. Declaring independence is one thing, but funding a revolution? That's a whole other battlefield. The fledgling nation had no central bank, no established currency, and was cut off from its primary trading partner, Great Britain. Printing money to fund the war led to rampant inflation, making everyday goods incredibly expensive. Yet, despite these hardships, the colonists persevered, organizing boycotts of British goods and relying on a sense of shared sacrifice to keep the economy afloat. The American Revolution was a fight for freedom and equality, but it exposed the deep hypocrisy at the heart of the newly formed nation. For African Americans, both free and enslaved, the revolution presented a cruel paradox, forcing them to navigate a world that promised liberty while denying them its most basic tenets. Thousands of enslaved Africans escaped to freedom, joining the British forces with the promise of emancipation. Others fought valiantly for the Continental Army, believing in the ideals of liberty, espoused by the Declaration of Independence. Yet, despite their service and sacrifice, African Americans emerged from the revolution largely relegated to the margins of society. After years of bloodshed, sacrifice, and more than a few tense negotiations, the American Revolution officially ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783. The Treaty of Paris was a monumental document that redrew the map of North America and fundamentally changed the course of history. It officially recognized the United States as an independent nation, free from British rule. It also established generous boundaries for the newly independent nation, stretching all the way to the Mississippi River. This vast territory opened up a world of possibilities for westward expansion, though not without igniting future conflicts with Native American tribes. When we think of the American Revolution, we often picture grand battles with lines of soldiers marching in formation. But the reality is, much of the fighting was far less formal and far more chaotic. Enter guerrilla warfare, a strategy embraced by the Americans, who were often outmatched in terms of numbers and firepower. This unpredictable and unconventional style of warfare frustrated the British, proving that you didn't need a massive army to win a war, just determination, ingenuity, and a knack for hitting where it hurts. The American Revolution wasn't just a local affair confined to the 13 colonies. The ideals enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, liberty, equality, and the right to self-government proved intoxicating to people living under oppressive rule around the world. In France, the American Revolution planted the seeds for their own revolution just a few years later, as ordinary citizens rose up to challenge the monarchy. From Latin America to Poland, the success of the American colonists emboldened revolutionaries and reformers, proving that even the mightiest empires could be challenged and defeated. And there you have it. 10 surprising facts about the American Revolution that prove that history is far more complex, nuanced, and downright fascinating